Princess Lyra walked slowly along the glass corridors of the Royal Space Station. Outside, stars moved like tiny sparks across the endless darkness of space. She had always loved watching the galaxy from above. It made her feel small yet free, far from the rules and eyes of the court. Today, however, her thoughts were not on the stars. They were on a human named Ethan. Humans were rare here. Most aliens in the Althera system saw them as weak, fragile creatures who survived by luck more than skill. But Ethan was different. He had arrived days ago as part of a diplomatic mission, negotiating for a rare energy crystal from one of the colonies. Princess Lyra had watched him quietly, fascinated. He moved with calm confidence. He spoke clearly, thought carefully, and never seemed afraid, even when the court treated him with subtle scorn. Lyra remembered the first time she had seen him. He had stood in front of a council of alien ministers, explaining his plan to transport the crystal safely. Some of the ministers had whispered doubts, saying it would fail. Others rolled their eyes at the human's audacity. But Ethan had only smiled calmly and continued, showing proof, answering questions and solving problems one by one. By the end, even the harshest critics had nodded in approval. From that moment, Lyra could not stop thinking about him. There was something in his eyes, something she had never seen before in any alien. A mix of curiosity, determination, and kindness. She felt a strange pull toward him, a feeling she could not explain. It was dangerous, of course. Royals were not supposed to be interested in humans. The court would never allow it. But the feeling was there, growing stronger with every passing day. Lyra entered the observation hall where she often came to be alone. The room was empty, filled with soft light from the stars. She leaned against the window, watching the planet spin slowly in the distance. She imagined walking among them with Ethan, learning about his world, sharing stories, and exploring together. A part of her wished she could tell someone, but whom could she trust? The court was full of spies and advisors. Even her closest friends might report her thoughts. A soft voice interrupted her daydream. "Your Highness," said a young aide, bowing slightly, "the human diplomat has requested a private audience. The council approved under supervision." Lyra's heart jumped. A private audience with Ethan? This was the chance she had been waiting for. She composed herself quickly, adjusting the royal tunic she wore. Her mother, Queen Seraphine, had warned her many times about becoming too close to humans. They were unpredictable, she said. An attraction to one could bring trouble. But Lyra could not help herself. She wanted to see him up close, to speak with him, to learn more about him. The aide led her to a small chamber designed for meetings of this sort. Ethan was already there, standing quietly by a table with holographic maps of the colony. He looked up when she entered, and for a moment their eyes met. Lyra felt a strange warmth spread through her chest. He smiled politely, the kind of smile that seemed honest and calm without any hidden intent. "Princess Lyra," he said, "it is an honor to meet you." "The honor is mine," she replied, keeping her voice steady. Her fingers itched to reach out and shake his, but she held herself back. She needed to act like a royal, calm and composed, even if her heart raced. They talked quietly about the colony, the energy crystals, and the challenges humans faced in alien space. Ethan explained how humans adapted to different worlds, using their intelligence and teamwork. Lyra listened closely, asking questions and imagining herself joining him on his missions. She was impressed by his ideas, his clarity, and the way he treated everyone with respect even when others doubted him. For a moment, the world outside seemed to disappear. The stars, the station, the court, none of it mattered. There was only Ethan and the spark of understanding between them. Lyra knew she wanted more. She wanted to know everything about him, to learn from him, and maybe in time, to share adventures together. But a shadow crossed her thoughts. She knew the court would not approve. The whispers would start, the warnings, the gossip. She would have to be careful. Yet, the pull she felt toward Ethan was stronger than any fear of rules or traditions. She decided then, quietly, that she would ask her mother for permission. She would speak honestly, even if it was dangerous. She wanted him, and she would not let the world tell her otherwise. Princess Lyra left the chamber with her mind racing. She walked back through the corridors, past the glowing stars, feeling both nervous and excited. For the first time, she was ready to challenge tradition, to follow her heart, and to take a step that could change her life, and the life of a human who had already captured her curiosity. Princess Lyra sat in her private chamber, her fingers tracing the edges of the royal chair. The walls glowed softly with the reflection of distant stars, but she could barely see them. Her thoughts were only on one thing: Ethan. The human had captured her curiosity and her heart, even if she knew she could not say that aloud. She took a deep breath and reminded herself of what she must do. Her mother, Queen Seraphine, had always been strict and wise. She loved her daughter but demanded obedience to tradition and the rules of the Althara court. Royals were not supposed to form attachments to humans, and anyone who tried faced humiliation or exile. Yet Lyra felt a courage she had never known. She would speak honestly. She would ask her mother, no matter the danger. The queen's private chamber was a large, elegant room with tall windows. Queen Seraphine was seated on a silver throne, her posture straight and her gaze calm. She looked up as Lyra entered. "Mother," Lyra began, trying to steady her voice. "I have seen the human diplomat, Ethan. I have spoken with him. I want him to stay with us. I want him to be close to me." Queen Seraphine's eyes widened slightly. Her lips pressed together, and for a moment she did not speak. Lyra could feel the tension in the air. The queen had expected curiosity or fascination, but not this. "Lyra," the queen said finally, her voice measured but firm. "You know humans are unpredictable. They have their own ways. They are fragile yet clever. They are not like us. Royalty cannot choose humans for affection or partnership. It is dangerous. It could bring shame to our house." "I understand the risks," Lyra replied quickly. "But Ethan is different. I have watched him. He is brave, intelligent, and fair. He treats everyone with respect. I cannot explain it, but I feel that he is special. I want to be near him. I want to know him better." Queen Seraphine leaned back slightly, her hands resting on the arms of the throne. She looked at her daughter closely. There was a fire in Lyra's eyes she had not seen before. The princess was not speaking out of curiosity or a childish fancy. She spoke with conviction, and that made the queen pause. "Have you thought of the court?" the queen asked quietly. "The ministers, the advisors, the council, they will not approve. They will see it as weakness. They may try to separate you from him or worse." "I have thought about it," Lyra said. "I know it will be hard. I know people will talk. But I also know I cannot ignore what I feel. I cannot ignore what I see in him. Humans may be underestimated, but they are capable of things even we cannot imagine. I want to see that." Queen Seraphine remained silent for a long moment. She had always respected her daughter's judgment and courage, but this was different. She had never seen a princess of Althara speak so openly about a human. It was a dangerous choice, yet she could sense the sincerity in Lyra's voice. "You are brave, Lyra," the queen said finally, her voice softening. "But bravery alone does not protect you. You must be cautious. I will allow you to speak with him under supervision. You may observe and learn. You may test your feelings, but the court must see it is under control. Do you understand?" Lyra nodded quickly, her heart racing with relief and excitement. "Yes, mother. I will be careful. I will not bring trouble to our house. But I need to know him, even if it is just for a short time." The queen gave a small nod. "Very well. But remember, Lyra, this is not permission for rebellion. You are still a princess of Althara. The humans may be capable, yes, but the court will watch every step. You must be wise and you must be patient." "I understand," Lyra said again. She bowed deeply, holding the queen's gaze with respect. As she turned to leave, she felt a sense of hope rising inside her. The first step had been taken. She would see Ethan again, and this time she would speak more freely. She would learn who he truly was. That evening, Lyra went to the observation deck. The stars moved slowly across the sky as if they were waiting for something to happen. She thought of Ethan and the calm strength he had shown during the council meeting. She imagined talking with him for hours, learning about his human world, his ideas, and the ways he solved problems. The aide who accompanied her reminded her of the rules. "Princess, your audience will be tomorrow." The council requested supervision. "Please remember to follow protocol." Lyra smiled faintly. "I will," she said. But inside she knew this was more than protocol. It was the start of a journey that could change everything. The human she had watched from afar was now someone she wanted to understand, someone she admired, someone she wanted to be close to. As she watched the stars, she whispered quietly to herself, "Tomorrow I will see him again, and I will not be afraid." The night passed slowly, with anticipation filling her thoughts. Princess Lyra knew she had taken a risk by speaking to her mother, but it was worth it. She had opened the door to something new, something exciting, and something that might one day bring humans and Althara closer together.